Kierra Ehnes and Jensen Renquist, both from Sedgwick County, Anna Van White from Cherry Creek, Katie Bauer from University, and Becca Wiersema from Thompson Valley. And we'll open it up here to questions for your volleyball players. Go ahead.
This is just for anybody who's been down there, but talk about the venue that has changed for state, being down in Colorado Springs. For you who have been down there, talk about that venue. Do you like it? Changed from the metro area where the Coliseum was for years and years to down in the Springs?
Well, for me, it wasn't that different because at the end of the day, you're just down in the middle and there's stands going up and you're just under a ton of lights. So being down in the courts, it kind of just looks the same. So for me, it wasn't that different as a player. And I've also been down to watch a few times, and either way, it's pretty similar.
Makenna, how strong is volleyball up in the northeast corner? How does that help you guys once you get into the postseason so that you're able to keep winning?
All of the teams that we play in our league and throughout the season are very strong. It helps us in the postseason when we have to play teams from outside of our region or league to prepare us for those teams.
And to the same thought there, Becca, you play in the Patriot League. That's a brutal 3A conference, yet you guys were able to get out of there and win state last year. What kind of run was that?
It was really cool because being able to play with a lot of teams where we had 4 or 5 teams that we saw at state who we play in season, it's really cool, and it creates a lot of competitiveness that it just makes all of our teams so much better, and it just makes our level of play increase so much over the season, and it makes postseason just so much better.
Does it make it easier? Because, I mean, a postseason game against Eaton is not much different than a regular season game at their place, is it?
Absolutely. It makes it a lot easier, and I think it just prepares us a lot better for those games.
Jensen, what's the preparation been like this year for you guys?
Okay, so this week we started 2-a-days, and that's been rough. I mean, it's getting us prepared, that's for sure. We have a game coming up, and so it's been hard, but I also think that's really good for us because it's going to get us to where we want to be in the end.
Yeah.
For anyone really, how much different is what you do in the high school season compared to a club atmosphere where you're playing so many games in so many days? You know, for a regular season league game, you just have all day to think about, you know, one match that's ahead of you. How much of an adjustment is that for you, girl?
I played club at a young age. Like growing up, I always played club, and I think that the difference in the preparation and getting ready is that the teams that you play with in high school are your family, and your club teams you see rarely. Once a year you go to compete, and I think it's more of a family atmosphere when you go to compete with your hometown schools. And I think being from a small town community, that's a huge advantage to getting to play with each other and getting to grow up instead of just being molded together.
Okay, Becca, what about the run for Thompson Valley? You guys kind of came out of nowhere last year. I know you had a lot of young players.
Yeah.
But talk about the run you had there.
I guess just our run for season, the beginning of the season, we had no idea where we were going to be at because the year before that our setter was a senior, so we really had no idea where that was going to take us, but we had some very talented freshmen come in, and just the way that they bonded with us and we all got along. Honestly, I think a lot of the reason why we won state was just the way that we truly came together like a family, and just over that time and bonding and just everything that our team has been through has just really helped with getting that far. And just across that run, at the beginning of the season, we lost a couple games, but I think in the end, losing those games really helped us learn how to work through that and get through that adversity.
Yeah, Katie, I'm sorry I had the wrong name. My names were crossed, but you're with University. Talk about your run last year. I kind of put the onus on Becca for another team, but talk about your run there to win the 3A crown.
In the summer we were a new team. We lost 3 pretty important seniors, but when the real season came around, we were still kind of figuring out whether who fit where and who did what. And then we started off pretty good. And then in the middle of the season, we had a rough patch. So we kind of talked like what we needed from each other, what we needed from the coaches, and from there on out, we kind of, that trust regained, so.
And then the same question that I erroneously asked her about playing in the Patriot League, how does that get you ready for your postseason run?
Like postseason last year?
Yeah, just any year. I mean, you play in a tough league, so that gets you ready for your playoff run.
Yeah. You know, there are so many good teams in Patriot League. There's not really a bad team that you play. Every single team has its own strengths, its own weaknesses. So it really helps, like, in postseason, like, you learn who needs what and, like, all that.
Kind of how exciting is to have such a young team this year, and how are the older girls trying to help like everybody get up to that point this week?
We have a lot of talented freshmen coming up, and it's exciting for the upperclassmen to help bring them into our team. And we've been just having struggles with getting lots of excitement and energy, but it's already come a long way with 2 days starting last week. So it's just exciting for us to, the upperclassmen, to feel the energy coming together.
Okay. All right, ladies. Thank you for your time. Good luck this year.